If you're anticipating Christmas and starting to plan meals, I have a suggestion. A Christmas tea party. Now, the Brits call it afternoon tea. Some call it high tea, but I think anyone who has enjoyed tea agrees it's a fun, memorable experience. Now, you might be thinking, I have so much to do. I don't need to make things more complicated. If you're like me, by the time the family has been there for a few days, the fridge is stuffed with leftovers, but not enough of any one thing to feed the entire brood a full meal. The picky eaters are starting to whine about food they're not familiar with. And because it's the holidays, people are still expecting every meal to be a production. Or maybe your Christmas activities are small and you want a celebration that feels special but not overwhelming. Today, I'll share with you how a classic Christmas tea can be a perfect solution for whatever your Christmas looks like. First, I want to give you an overview of what constitutes afternoon tea for the Brits. There are three basic elements: an assortment of elegant finger sandwiches, next, flaky scones, and lastly, sweets. For it to be truly special, the foods must be presented on tiered stands and served on festive china, with flowers and candles to finish the table. After we took these pictures, I packed up this little tea party and took it across town to share with my dear friend Annette. Everyone needs a friend like Annette, someone who makes you feel like everything you do is special. But I do think she really enjoyed our tea party, which means a lot to me since Annette is very well traveled and has had afternoon tea all over the world. So let's start with the sandwiches. Think cucumbers and deli meats. Thinly sliced ham, turkey, or roast beef can be the perfect beginnings for your finger sandwiches. If your party's small, a deli run will guarantee the perfect quantities. But many of us expect to have the stump of the ham that the spiral cut doesn't slice all the way, or a turkey carcass with only the easiest meat removed, or a few slices of roast beef. For us, it's time to make our own deli slices. At the end of every meal, I make my husband cut all the turkey and ham off the bone and slice it thinly for sandwiches. The obvious next item needed for a sandwich is bread, an assortment of thinly sliced white, wheat, rye, pumpernickel, brioche, whatever you like. Now, what makes tea sandwiches special is how they look. Fingers or triangles, circles or Christmas trees cut with cookie cutters if you really want to torture yourself. I just use fingers or triangles, and most importantly, no crusts, unless you're feeling rebellious. You could also use rolls, soft or crusty. Do what your family likes. Here are some of my favorite sandwiches. Classic cucumber. I make a spread with cream cheese, a bit of mayo, fresh dill, salt, and pepper. Chives, grated onion, or lemon juice can also be added. I spread this on both sides, top with sliced cucumbers, salt, pepper, a bit more fresh dill. Could not be any easier. Next, salmon. I use the same spread and smoked salmon I buy at Costco. Avocado and tomato. A little mayo on each side of the bread, some sliced avocado and tomatoes, lettuce, salt, and pepper. I like this on a crusty whole grain bread. Another British favorite, roast beef. I make a spread of cream cheese, mayo, and horseradish. Then put on the beef, tomato, and lettuce. Ham and cheese, classic with mayo or mustard or dill pickle slices, whatever kind of cheese you like. This is great on a seeded rye bread. I like it with baby Swiss. Sliced turkey or chicken is so versatile with mayo or Durkeys or Dijon mustard or cranberry sauce or bread and butter pickles, whatever you like. At Harrods in London, they put a thin layer of dressing on their turkey sandwich during the holidays. One of my things to do with leftover dressing. The Brits also love egg salad, just boiled egg, mayo, Dijon mustard, fresh dill, or other herbs. You mash it with a fork. Chicken or turkey salad. If your leftover meat is too small for slicing, try a simple salad with chopped meat and mayo. Then get creative with what you have around, including chopped celery or nuts, grape halves, craisins. Use your imagination. To add more flavor, add seasoned salt or curry powder. Or you can just buy a prepared chicken salad. I like this one, available in small containers at my grocery store or a bucket at Costco. And there's always a cheese and tomato sandwich with just a little mayo on each side and some salt. Now, you can also do peanut butter, or as my husband says, legume pâté. With or without butter, jelly, jam, or preserves, have that picky eater place an order. And fish salad. Think tuna salad with mayo, celery, onions, parsley, pickles, or chutney to taste. The goal with your sandwiches should be to make them feel out of the ordinary, not that uninviting blob in the bottom of the lunch bag. Vary the breads, the fillings, the flavors. You want people to be arguing over which is their favorite. Now, scones are the next element and what my grandchildren are most eager for. There are loads of recipes, but my favorite is in the description below. Make scone dough, roll it out on parchment paper, cut it, stick it in the freezer. When it's frozen, place it in a zip bag. It keeps for weeks in the freezer. It's based on a decadent Martha Stewart recipe. I use either chopped dried apricots or craisins. The secret is to make the dough ahead of time and freeze the pre-cut scones. Then all you have to do is take them out of the Ziploc bag, put them on a cookie sheet, and you have fresh scones 30 minutes later. The Brits cut them in circles like what we would call a biscuit in the South. Translation for Americans: Brits call cookies biscuits, and biscuits are called scones. I cut my scones into triangles. Very American take on the scone. I also make them small. Scones are traditionally served with clotted cream or butter and jams or fruit preserves. If you've never bought clotted cream before, try Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, or Wegmans. You might find it at Safeway or a local specialty grocer. I've made it before. It's not that hard, but I don't like it well enough to go to the trouble. Personally, I am a scone purist with my apricot and craisin scones. I would only put clotted cream and jam on a plain scone. I'm a barbarian. Sweets are another way to use up the last of your Christmas goodies. The tail end of those cookies, cakes, and candies. If your crew has already devoured every sweet in sight, you have three choices the way I see it. Make them eat the fruit that they've been avoiding for the last week, or send everyone that's underfoot to the grocery store or pastry store to buy more, or start cooking. My mother always said brownies were the easiest thing to make. Or maybe magic cookie bars, also known as 7-layer cookies in our family. That's what I do when I run out of treats before I run out of family. You know, I think I'll put that recipe for 7-layer cookies in the description too. Keep the ingredients in your pantry for emergencies. Now, we are herbal tea drinkers around here. Peppermint is the go-to for Christmas. Other family favorites include raspberry zinger and Bengal spice by Celestial Seasonings. It's fun to experiment with your flavors. Now, what makes a Christmas party easy is that so much of it can be done ahead. All you need to do for the scones is throw however many you need on a cookie sheet and bake them the day of the Christmas tea. I make the cream cheese spread for sandwiches ahead of time. Keeps for a week or two in the fridge if it lasts that long. And chicken salad can be made ahead of time or store-bought. For egg salad, just use those pre-boiled eggs. And of course, all your leftover meats will be waiting in the fridge. That being said, if you have what we call grazers, make threatening verbal statements or put threatening notes on the fridge, or you might find your food has gone AWOL. If you leave the meat on the bone, it's safer. Once you make it easy to consume, it can get dicey. The deli or pastry shop can provide anything else you need to make your party special. Let me know in the comments if you try a Christmas tea party. Whether it's a small party with just a friend or an exciting event for the whole family, I promise this will become a fun tradition everyone will be eager to repeat. Sometimes the most creative solutions and the best stories begin with something pretty simple. See you next time, and Merry Christmas.